Hello, hello, hello. Mic testing, mic testing. Mic testing 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, 3, 2, 1. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. One ನಿಮಿಷ. ಹಾಂ.
No, they will do. For right now, they have.
A very good morning, everyone. Respected guests, our participants from the industry, students, and participants from the academia. A very warm welcome to all of you in the third networking event of Sangam-Digital Twin Initiative. This is the third networking event which we are organizing for the Sangam Stage 1. Before this, we have successfully concluded 2 networking events. The first one was held at IIT Delhi on 18th and 19th June, and the second took place at IIT Bombay on 25th and 26th June. In those 2 sessions, we have had discussions on 6 different breakouts, which consist of 4 vertical breakouts and 2 horizontal breakouts. So in this networking event, that we intend to continue our breakout discussions on the 4 vertical and the 4 horizontal topics, and the 2 horizontal topics. The topics of discussion for today's event will be multimodal transport planning, enhancing healthcare access and service, assessment of environment quality and its impact, disaster response management and mitigation. And the 2 horizontal use cases on which we will be having discussions include solution architecture, including data, AI, privacy, and governance, and virtual world modeling and simulations. So thank you for joining. So now I would like to request Asit sir, DDG from DOT, to please come up on stage and give a brief about the Sangam initiative.
Thank you, Kumud. So Sangam-Digital Twin Initiative was launched with the aim that it will revolutionize infrastructure planning and designing. So as we can see that this is a usual phenomena, that traffic jam everywhere. And when we want to solve this kind of a problem, traditionally we start some flyover or underpass or some kind of activity, and we have a hope that soon we will be having a better tomorrow. And we will find that signboard that inconvenience is regretted because work is in progress. And when that work is finished, time is over, then we find that work is regretted, inconvenience is in progress. So the solutions which are imagined and we target is not solving problem, because we are not having a global insight and a deeper understanding that what is the intention of the people, what they want to do, why they want to do, and how we can solve the problem. Usually we focus on a local part of the problem and try to solve that with local context, with local insight. So the whole purpose of this Sangam initiative is to gain better insight and to solve problems effectively. But usually, it is a famous diagram from Steve Covey's book, and usually you will find that problem exists, such kind of problem exists where there is a talent of people. So why problem is coexisting with the talent of the people? The people can solve these problems. So why problem is surviving? So you can find that there is a circle of concern, which is a wide range of concerns we do have. As an engineer, we have a concern that traffic problem should be solved, for example. But whether we do have an influence to solve this problem, can the talented people can solve this problem? They have all data, AI, computational power, logics, everything they do have. Whether they can solve this problem, they can solve their own problem. So there should be something, initiatives should be something which provides you that power to influence the decision, to influence the solution. So we can solve our problem. How we can do that? How this initiative gives you more power to influence decision making and to participate in solving of the problem. So usually we are, means after this ChatGPT, everybody is expecting something from AI, and whenever you talk to the AI people, they claim that they can solve any kind of problem, and just they need a data. And data is the breakfast for the AI champions. So now problem gets reduced to the data problem. So people have a powerful solutions, powerful platforms, but they are waiting for data. If data is available, then what is the problem in getting data? So one of the issue in getting data, access to the data, is privacy. And there are privacy which are related to the individual, and there are something sensitivity which is related to the organization or the enterprises. And there are privacy enhancing technologies. Already they are there. How we can use or leverage those technologies to get access to the data. And why communication or a DOT is very important in this entire initiative. Can you imagine that what is the bandwidth required to transmit this image? What bandwidth may be required to transmit this image? It is a colorful image having many details, and you can also consider it like a water sport, water tube and others. So if you want to transmit, what is the bandwidth? So whenever you talk of something powerful, you require a higher bandwidth or a higher connectivity, and many times we lag in this aspect. But surprisingly, you will find there's only this one mathematical formula is to be conveyed, which is less than of SMS size, 160 character. If you can pass this mathematical formula, this image can be generated with all colors. This image can be generated at the other end. So you don't need bandwidth. You need a computational power at the edge, and you need to signal things in a mathematical formulas. So now future networks are moving towards era where the requirement of edge computing and smartness will be required at the edge. And this is important for the digital twin perspective. Because when we are doing a collaboration at the end, you are manipulating objects on the basis of the user's actions. So every user is taking some action. And if multiple players are there and they are collaborating, so they will be taking actions independently, and at the same time objects are to be manipulated and rendered, and how to do it at a scale, and how to do it with a performance requirement which you are looking for. So this kind of a technology, this kind of a delivery network helps you. So we have, and good part of this Sangam initiative is that participants are from diverse fields. From every field, participants are there. You will find people who are expert in the future generation networks, they are there. The people who are expert in the virtual world creations, they are here. People who are good in the geospatial and the domain expertise, they are here. So it is true Sangam of diverse experts and people, organizations having diverse capabilities. So in infrastructure planning, if you consider, then there are three main problems. One problem is of imagination. When you are trying to solve the problem, one is the imagination. And imagination depends upon the data, the kind of data you have, the comprehensive data you have. If you don't have a comprehensive data, your possibilities are limited because you can't imagine. And that is the problem which we are aiming to solve. And second is that in infrastructure, especially in the infrastructure area, it is almost impossible to do experimentation because it is very costly. Even if some experiments are done, these experimentations are too narrow and too few. So you can't do a lot and you can't discover optimal solutions through iterations. And feedback loops, are almost missing because you can't monitor, you can't do corrections mid-journey, and plans are rigid. You will find that plans which were finalized 5 years back or 10 years back, those are being implemented because you can't do corrections on fly. But all these things can be changed with the tech-ed era, and we are trying to come up with a ecosystem which is privacy by design, and it is not just limited to the anonymization or aggregation. It is a privacy by design, how we can adopt that, and which enables data, access to the data, and you can extract the intelligence from a unified data, and this may be called as a collective intelligence. Second is that it is digital by design. And digital by design means that you can take data-led decisions because you have access to the comprehensive data. And it is collaborative by design. So it is not the individual organization or individual department which is taking decisions or actions. So they can co-plan, co-design, and co-build. And they can also discover optimal solutions. And when they want to discover optimal solutions, they can do it using gaming engines. So one of the area where we want to touch is the gaming engine architecture and gaming mechanics to get engaged digitally and to discover the best solutions. So typically, as we discuss that what we can achieve from this POC Sangam is that we can have a composite view from all the sectors, cross-sectoral composite view. We can have access to the comprehensive data. We can have a coherence of vision or approach, and we can do the creative collaboration. And this is not only reducing the cost, but you can maximize the utility. We have examined many cases where cost analysis is being done, feasibility is being done, feasibility test is being done, but utility of that action cannot be determined because data is not available. So this initiative offers you that you can also determine utility value and you can rank the various options which are available. And as we have discussed, then when we are aggregating this data, so we should be getting access to the potential of the data, and we should also ensure the privacy. So digital twin is not something new. It is quite old, but what has changed in these years is that there is a change, the 3D modeling, what we can do, and it is not only from the concept you can have a high fidelity 3D modeling. IoT networks, 5G networks, 4G, 5G networks have revolutionized the way we can collect the data, and we can get the real world data. Next is that we have role of cloud computing, which allows you to scale the solutions. And this cloud is no more cloud. This is moving towards becoming a fog. So all computing is moving towards edge. So it is not something on the top side. It is pervasive. This cloud computing is pervasive. And now we have to see cloud computing along with the communication technologies. So how that will enable in scaling up the solutions. And with the AI, with the rise of AI, you have a better decision making because you are more aware. Your awareness is elevated and you have a deeper insights using digital twin. And the last point is that you have a community, better community, more tools, more standards in place. So you can harness this collective knowledge for any efficient digital twin development. So these are the aspects of a digital twin. So these are very much important whenever we are considering any use case. We have to see that these aspects are covered in that digital twin. So it is bidirectional, it is real time, and you can predict the behavior, and you can have a deep understanding what is happening. So in digital twin, you have a physical twin and environment, and three things are there, and we should know that. First is that replica of what exists, and that is about the bare earth and built environment. So what exists in terms of the elevations or the terrain or the flora and fauna, and about the built environment. Next to that is that we have to sync up what is happening now. So how to sync up? So there are IoT and other networks to sync it up. So we know that what is happening right now. And next to that is that to predict what if scenarios or what next. So you have to do simulations and predictions. And aim of the Sangam is mainly for the planar digital twin. But this planar digital twin cannot operate in isolation. It has to be connected with the operational digital twin if really it wants to give good insights and it want to be more effective. So planning digital twin will be interconnected with the other kinds of digital twin, and not at operational level, but at an abstraction level, which is good enough for planning purpose. So with a digital twin, what advantage we are getting is that we are gaining more deeper and deeper insight. So we are not limited to data. So this initiative is not limited to data. It is about extraction of intelligence from the data, and that in a manner that privacy is preserved. So how you can go deeper and how you can gather the parts, you can connect those parts, form a whole, and you can join those holes. How you can do that. And you can see the past and you can rehearse the future. How that can be done. It is all about the digital twin with AI, and we can reflect and we can interact what we want to do. So the S4 use cases, which have been considered in the beginning, but we are not limited to these use cases. So one use case was related to the transportation, and there is a origination and destination matrix, which is usually part of any transport model. So how telecom networks can help in generating those insights. And telcos do have these insights for entire city and for all the time windows. So how we can do that, that is possible. And how to consider and how to figure out that how many people are there in any specific area with the time. So currently we are dependent upon the census data. Census data is old data, dated, and you can make some predictions, but you can't be accurate and you can't be granular. With the telco, you can be granular. You can have this insight for various geographies, and this is temporal. So you can have a spatial and a temporal graph, and you can consider and consume this for any planning purposes. And when you are considering any problem, you have to see that what is going to happen in 5 to 10 years. Because all this infrastructure planning is done for 15 years, 20 years. So even you will find that today what infrastructure is being created, that is considering the next 20 years demand. But with the evolution of the technologies, it may happen that you will get metaverse-enabled offices. And what will be the impact of metaverse-enabled offices on the transport systems? So you can't predict in a linear manner that so many cars are growing, so many people are increasing in a particular area, so the traffic demand will increase with that rate. No. If metaverse-enabled offices will be there, the entire transportation demand or a graph may get changed. Today, family is commuting in a different direction in different areas. In a metaverse-enabled offices, it may change totally. So if metaverse-enabled schools are there, metaverse workspaces are there. In a use case, health, we started using video conferencing in COVID time, and but we are not finding that it is any adequate for remote diagnostics or remote prescriptions. How the digital twin can combine this data and can be made available to the doctor. So it is not only the use case what we are aiming is not limited to this digital twin of a citizen. In aggregation of this digital twin and scenario creation, there is a good role of communication technologies, but there is also role that how the communication networks enabled by the good infrastructure, kiosks can be created, which can provide you immersive experience to a patient and to a doctor, which is far better than the today's video conferencing interaction between patient and a doctor. So we have one use case where digital twin rooms and digital connectivity can help in taking this forward. Use case disaster management. So today we have a plans that if there is a fire or there is an incident, how we will evacuate the plant. There are some rules and regulations, but with the evolution of the digital twin technology, how this can be more agile and more effective, what will be the role. So telco can help you to discover the phone numbers or the people who are trapped inside the affected area. You can get connected with them. And telcos can also help to deliver a light-weighted digital twin with a specific instructions imposed over that for the evacuation. And these instructions are in coordination with the rescue agencies. So when rescue agencies, property managers, or telco people are working together, how they can do it more effectively, quickly. That is one of the use case. And how the trainings can be imparted at a scale using digital twin and simulations. So simulation-based trainings are there, but those are costly. And scenario creations are limited. And many scenarios are not captured. How this entire exercise can capture real-world data and real scenarios where we need to work. In a use case environment, how we can discover the causality and already some works are being done, but how telco network helps, or how IoT work helps. So you can't discover causality when you are more coarse, and if you are having one sensor for several kilometers, and effects of pollutions are not, you cannot understand in an aggregated manner. You need to be more granular. So how telcos can give you a more granular data, more precise data, and data in a more real time, and how you can correlate and understand the causality. So one use case is being worked out on that. How we can do the responsible stewardship, because we have a digital twin, so we can give a assured outcome because you can understand the context. So if permissions are given or some monitoring is done, that can be done in more effective manner. So you can understand what exists today. You can also understand that if there are some changes in the environment, how it will look like, and you can compare with the actual conditions and discover that what is the anomaly, or what is the change there, and whether some action is required or not. So for opportunities to plan infra is that you can mimic, simulate, and predict. So this digital twin provides you a contextual understanding and continual learning and insights for the actions and the opportunities. So we will be using static data, semi-static data, and a dynamic data for this entire exercise. The new use case which we are exploring and we want to add is that how this digital twin technology can be leveraged for the aspirational block programs and aspirational districts program. So we have we have identified some of the areas where this Sangam initiative will be helping. How schemes convergence can be seen in a digital twin, and you can mobilize an active participation using Sangam initiative. And for the collaboration purpose, how the expertise and resources can be leveraged in a collaborative environment. And already it is being done, ranking is being done, but how digital twin can help in doing measurements in a better way, and helping in evidence-based interventions, and bringing transparencies in the planning and executions. And transparency also includes the financial transparencies, and how this digital twin will be helping in a community strategy development and a devolutionary friendly monitoring systems. So this is the new use case which we will be working upon. So this Sangam is progressing, and we had a outreach program at Bangalore, IIIT Bangalore a few months ago, and now we are going through this exploration phase. So we are moving from imagination to the exploration, and then we will move to the realization stage. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So as sir discussed about the new use case of aspirational districts, so apart from the 4 use cases which we have been discussing, that is transportation, environment, disaster, and healthcare, it is not, the Sangam initiative is not limited to these use cases. So that is what we want to bring into picture. So one use case sir has covered on aspirational districts. The next use case is on tourism. So I request Colonel Zakaria from Elena Geosystems to please come up on the stage for his presentation on the use case of tourism. Colonel Zakaria has served in the army for 32 years as an artillery officer and was awarded a gallantry award as a young officer. He has done his master's in nanoscience and nanotechnology and MBA in operations, and he heads the R&D in the Elena Geosystems and the end-to-end solution providers in the multi-GNSS domain focused on Navik. So I invite Colonel Zakaria. So please come up.
Good morning, one and all. Thank you so much, Kadian sir, DDG Dot and his team, for giving us this opportunity to present Tourism Digital Twin. There are 4 verticals already being discussed. I am bringing in a new vertical. So this time, keeping the time limitations, I would limit the scope of this presentation to these headings. That would be how TDT is a use case, how it aligns with Sangam, what would be the requirements, who would be the potential contributors, what would be the components of the TDT, how TDT use case feasibility is there, what are the envisaged benefits, and how the TDT cross-sectoral data utilization, what is the potential for that? So before I go into the details, as everyone would be aware, tourism, Indian tourism contributes to about 5% plus of the GDP, and also contributes to more than 7% of job creation. But the conventional methods which are there for enhancing and improving tourism sector fall short as the technology advances, as the population increases. So we had to have an out-of-the-box thinking. We had to go beyond and look for solutions. So here and where the digital twin steps in. There are two motivating factors, principally. One is the tourist. They are a floating population always, and there are management complexities to manage them. With our expertise of Navic in the positioning, navigation, and timings domain, Elena is confident of pitching in and enlisting the other collaborators and people who will be cooperating. The next motivating factor is the tourist side. We have to increase the visibility so that the full potential of the tourist sites all over India can be exploited. Make it accessible and enable networking. Only this will help us increase the percentage of contribution by the Indian tourism to our national economy. Now, going into the details of use case, TDT as a use case, use of AI and ML will be extensive, which will enable us to gain an economic ascendancy with revenue increase. There would be interactive apps which could be developed with real-time language translation so that even a foreigner who is visiting India doesn't find himself at sea. The infrastructure modifications can be enabled through this digital twin. The emergency services can be well networked to be acting in time, and we can come on to pre-visit virtual tours, especially applicable to aged tourists, to tourists who are physically challenged. They can have a review as to which is the place they are going to visit and how they can go through it. A point to note is here that digital twin in no way will inhibit an actual visit. Further, it will motivate someone accessing the virtual visit to actually go in for a real visit. The TDT aligns with the Sangam initiatives. Some of the Sangam initiatives which it aligns with are leveraging technology for economic benefits, focusing on integrating IoT and 5G, efficient infrastructure utilization initiatives and real-time data insights, encouraging infrastructure-based real-time data and simulation, then optimize ticketing, merchandising, and services, which is core or more applicable to tourism than any other sector. Real-time navigation, especially since we have our own indigenous Navic, through which we can achieve sub-meter accuracy much better than GPS, which gets limited at 10 meters. Then virtual replicas of infrastructure and for planning and optimization. The TDT requirements, I have listed here a few, and these are not, I would say, all-encompassing. There would be addition, deletions, and improvements. But intuitively, these are the ones which would be there. There will be exhaustive data collection involved. Stakeholder management, you'll have to identify, classify, and interact with stakeholders. Hardware technology, self-explanatory, lot of sensors will be deployed to utilize the power of digital twin. Software technology, but naturally, will be involved. This tourism digital twin will require a lot of assistance, especially from DOT, as far as networking is concerned, because communication is going to be a lot, whether it is data communication or voice communication or video conferencing, a lot of assistance would be required for networking for the realization of this. Then, of course, historical data which is available, whether it is historical records or researched and collated data, this would be required. So these requirements. Now what we have attempted is to propose a model which again may be amended, but the way we see it, the layer 1 will be a GIS landscape, Then would be information integration, followed by sensor inputs, which will be deployed, the hardware which I said. Then integration of AI and ML applications, finally arriving at a proper digital twin. Now, I would call the GIS landscape as a pre-digital twin. The digital twin basics will be layer 2 and layer 3. Then we will go on to adaptive, which is the layer 4. And finally, the intelligent digital twin, wherein the scenarios usage will be playing various scenarios, drawing out lessons from that, and then improving and going ahead. The potential contributors, there would be many more, but like I said, this being the start, there would be site managers, tourism departments, transport operators, emergency services. All these are the people who will give the data. Then for processing, we may go on to GIS content and VR, AR technologies, geospatial technologies. We will also be integrating inputs from vendors and suppliers associated with tourism, hospitality industries, and emergency services. The components of the tourism tourism digital twin, like any other thing, there would be certain inputs, there would be certain processes involved, and there would be certain outputs which emerge. So, on a broad front, we can say data collection in usage and storage, the hardware involved, and the software involved, and the others would form an input. For processing, AI and ML would be used, and networking of support elements will be used, because there will be question, answers, interacting, finding out data, correcting the data. However, the outputs which are envisaged are interactive apps, real-time apps, pre-visit virtual tours, solutions for revenue increase, enhanced navigation solutions, smart management, and tourist site infra modifications. The feasibility can be brought out by the following points. Urban digital twin successes on a global level. There are many success stories. Availability of technology for processing large volume data is there. Then the resources required are available and accessible. The mature technologies such as NAVIC, AIML, AR, VR can be successfully utilized for various domains. At ELINA, due to the capabilities we have developed out, we are confident of using position, navigation, and timings using multi-GNSS technology, which is focused on NAVIC. These capabilities make it feasible to go in for a tourism digital twin. The envisaged benefits which would generate out of this is, there would be employment generation and economic ascendancy as a consequence. The training of tourist guides, you will be able to train tourist guides which will generate employment for the local economies and contribute to the overall increased economic ascendancy. Then sustainable and then licensing of tours and operators, you will be able to monitor them also better. The touts and other bad elements can be filtered out. Then the visitor experience and the resource management will be much better, followed by enhanced safety and security. All this will combine to ensure the goal of sustainable and inclusive tourism. Now, cross-sector data utilization. This is an important aspect of TDT Sangam. Herein, the TDT can have a cross-sectoral data utilization with disaster management. There would be a breakout session post-lunch. I would be one of the moderators. People can come up with these ideas, keeping this at the back of their mind, as to how cross-sectoral data utilization with disaster management come up. Then urban planning and smart cities, VR virtual reality world creation, self-explanatory, multimodal transport, digital archaeology, and very important, especially for tourist site which is aligned or which is using forest reserves, wild animals. In here, the habitat mapping and endangered animal tracking can be very effectively achieved. With this, I come to the end of my presentation. Thank you once again, Department of Telecom, for giving Elena Geosystems an opportunity to present a new vertical. I look forward to contributions and going ahead. If there are any questions, I may answer or we can proceed ahead. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, Colonel Zakaria. Yeah, so I will brief you all about the, the schedule for the 2 days, how we'll be proceeding with the event. So after this opening plenary, we will be starting with the 4 parallel breakout sessions in the different halls. So you will all be escorted to your respective halls after the tea. And after the, then we will be having lunch, proceeding which we will be having these horizontal breakout sessions in 2 halls. And there is one point missing. After the horizontal breakout, we will be having a final moderator discussion in this main hall. So I request all to kindly proceed to the main hall after the end of the breakout session. Then on the second day from tomorrow, similarly, we will be having 4 breakout sessions and 2 horizontal sessions, and we will be having the closing plenary tomorrow. So with this, we come to the end of the plenary, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for this plenary. Also, I would like to especially thank PES University for hosting this event for us and for all the hospitality and arrangements. Thank you all, and I request all to please proceed for tea outside. Thank you. So after the tea, you are all requested to kindly assemble in your respective groups with your moderators and DOT representatives, and the student volunteers will be escorting you to the respective hall. Thank you.